What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Getting to the Cards in just a second. I have enough experience to know I'm going to get asked these questions several times in the comment section. So first off, what do I think of the X-Men trailer? I wear X-Men shirts quite often. I think the frame rate was atrocious and the pacing even in the trailer seems awkward. I'm still going to watch a bit and keep an open mind, but I feel like I'm not going to enjoy it. I just hope that I do. Second, for the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer that dropped, I'm freaking hyped. I can't wait to see it. I'll be there weekend one. I've seen a lot of criticisms. Oh, these power-ups look ridiculous on these monsters. Have you watched the Godzilla series? Heisei is about him powering up throughout the series. And then Shin Godzilla, one of the most critically acclaimed one, is about him evolving and powering up. It's often human intervention that often makes them win and lose as well. Either man-made weapons that are some new extreme like in GMK, or just around, usually it makes the deciding factor of this moment of humanity trying to be alongside them. That being said, that's my take on it. Let's go ahead and get to the cards and what most of y'all are here for. Phantom Nightmare. I keep wanting to call this Photon Hypernova so bad. Most of the cards can be gotten for a low price, except low, and of course other top end wanted fire stuff. And it's interesting because a lot of that is actually coming down versus where it was at. Like, we actually have Poplar still under $40 and well stocked. Promethean Princess is heading towards a solid 30, it feels like, over time, and it's even more stocked than that despite everybody playing these fire decks and the potential there. The goblins are what are stonking really hard. Look at Goblin Biker Grand Entrance Quarter Century Secret Rare now. Lowest around 80 feels a bit ridiculous to me, but people are eating this up, and other support for this deck is getting bought out for highest rarity and had been for some time, so people really seem to be showing this deck a lot of love. But it's not just the Goblin deck that's going up, also the Ashened stuff. We have Vidos here actually starting to go back up a bit, $17 lowest, quickly 18 on this front page, and also Priestess, who you might remember actually got like attention from other media, Dark Souls and Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, it is actually starting to head back up as well. I think this is a bit of speculation also on us getting future support in sets with it being so good, but that's happened a lot. There's a very forgettable recent TCG exclusive that people were hyped where they were buying it out, and the moment it didn't get good support, it fell flat on its face. That's very recent history and happens a lot. Sometimes it's the OCG piece that brings it all together like Spiral. Sometimes it's like Cosmo, where the next set actually does take it to the next level, and it does feel like people are over gambling now. Let me know if there is actual results and cool things this deck is doing right now to get this hype, but I feel like it's a bit of over speculation personally, unless I'm missing something big. Metamorphosis. I read this card, I get big player brain, feel like I'm smart, and it is going up in price, so I get why people would be buying it. Let me know if there is a specific combo right now. You tribute one fusion or synchro monster, so that diversity is nice. Special summon one monster from your deck with the same level as the tributed monster's original level, but return it to the hand during the end phase. This is a hard once per turn on activation. I feel like this card, for its price, around $5, could lead to a lot of speculative, this has got to get broken in before it gets a reprint feelings, and if I was still a vendor man, I might go for that myself. But I've also been burned so many times on speculative, like going in on cards like this that I thought would be great before it's time in a reprint. So it looks great. It's a cool secret rare. It makes me think with player brain. Let me know what you're using it for if you are using it right now, but my gosh, it is still a pretty steep cost to pull off to draw the monster out of your deck too. Psychic Wielder for goblins. The secret rare is getting bought out and going up in price. Luckily, we do have other options, even mid-max ultra rare out of the 10s, and then you do have a rare out of Grand Creator. So super easy access, will stay here for a while. But if you want a secret rare version, be aware that's starting to spike up in price. Also the same for Kagamusha Knight, which the secret rare is starting to go lower on quantity, up in price. You have a nice OTS super rare though for this card that is plenty stocked if you want a good mid-max option on the cheap. Using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra, support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. A hot tech right now, especially against Fire and in Fire mirror matches, is Monster Reborn. Being able to take their piece pieces, use them as your own, manipulate their graveyard a bit, and Lart is especially going up right now. This has been hyped and overhyped in the past a lot though, so keep that in mind that some deep pockets might be wanting to get this up and offload their own. But yeah, this has definitely gone up a good amount, where the lowest seem to be around 45 for foreigns at this point, and maybe towards 50 for the English. I actually didn't know it had gone that crazy at this point. Yeah, towards 60. Yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, 58. So there are people who would be very interested in this pushing up at this point for having bought in so many at 30s, and it's almost at double up territory versus a market price of 37. Keep that in mind. I personally really like myself the secret rare out of 2019 Gold Sark 10. Now I don't have a ton of these or anything. I'm not buying and selling cards. I stopped that a long time ago because conflict of interest with this. I just really like how this one looks, and it's very affordable out of the tins. It's had its fluctuations in the past, and at $2 for this version, it's so nice. I really like this. The 2019 tins also just leave a good taste in my mouth though. The first movement solo comes in super rare, and super rare, and all of them are way up in price, so you might want to look through your holo bulk for this one. We have future support for the deck, and yeah, Melodious, am I right? We also have Ostinato here. The common is starting to go out of quantities for the Mega Pack, which is easier to make disappear through historical, like, there's more of the core set. These commons, they just end up getting eaten first for some reason. I prefer first set OG when it's both commons, but yeah, be aware that this is starting to go a little bit and could become $1 to $2 common in the future, depending on the reprint cycles if this deck actually takes off in the next set. People are hyping it up though. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherry, speaking of overhyped history in the past, I feel like the ultimate rare is highly speculated on. A lot of people have gone on a ton around $12, and now the lowest is around 25. We are in a metagame where there are uses for it, where a lot of people are playing the same extra deck monsters, but will it pan out? I just feel like this card has such an uphill battle on activation requirements and setup and being useful, but at the same time, when you do close in on a lot of the same extra deck monsters between tons of the same decks, there is a place for it. How good it will be, we'll have to wait and see. We also have Yama going up even crazier in almost full buyout mode for mixing with Labyrinth here. You can see this card just absolutely going crazy. We covered its initial starting to go up. This is wild. Around $18 for this card, and of course is shared with Unchained itself, although it's more Lab with the Unchained engine that seems to be getting the attention right now. Psyframe Gear Delta we also covered starting to go up. It has gone crazy in price, around $13, $14 per copy right now, lowest, and actually seeing sales in that range. Again, stopping spells is really big in this metagame. The hand trap metagame is developing a lot, and Delta seems to be worth the brick to a ton of people. I also pointed out, hey, you might want to be paying attention to Lambda with this card to some degree. Garura, we've talked about super polymerization a lot. I didn't pay enough attention to this one. It has gone to around $15 for both versions, the OG Ultra and the Secret Rare. And remember, those 25th anniversary 10s, people just don't want to open them, so the cards are going to be hard to repopulate from there. There's just not as many as there usually are, as they're sitting and rotting on so many shelves. We have the branded hype. We talked about the Gimmick Puppet buyout and it being one of the worst, but look at the fusions actually going up here. The Discord was pointing these out, around $18 for Gran Guigunol, and then you have Albion here, the Sanctifier Dragon. It's going up as well and is around $17 a copy. It's been here before, but it was much cheaper not too long ago. And then even Rendabrum starting to spike up here recently, trying to become around a $10 card. You can still get very few copies from low-rated sellers, around 9, before it is 10 from top-rated sellers. And finally, I've heard that low-rarity flu and getting beat by it is a meme, but look how close Rabina's rare is to the super rare, and how this is going. There's actually less copies of it at this point, and people are going, wait, maybe I should just buy the super at this point. So memes into dollars on the market sometime actually do translate, and the lower rarity starts to punch up to where people have to buy the higher rarity because it just makes sense. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. And yeah, I will be very hyped for the Godzilla stuff. Not as much for that X-Men show right now.